In this video, we will discuss what is UK student visa, when to apply student visa, when to apply if you are inside the UK, and when to apply when you are outside the UK, how long you can stay on a student visa, when you can travel to the UK, what is the visa fees for the study visa, what you can do on the UK study visa, what you cannot do on UK study visa, what are the requirements for this visa, list of licensed sponsors which can provide you this visa, how much money you need, how long you have to show this money for, which countries do not need to show the evidence for enough money, what is the English language requirement for this visa, who does not need to prove their knowledge of English, what documents you need for this visa, how to apply for student visa, how long it take to get the decision, what happens after you get the decision. What is UK student visa? You can apply for a student visa to study in the UK if you are 16 or over and you have been offered a place on a course by a licensed student sponsor. Have enough money to support yourself and pay for your course. The amount will vary depending on your circumstances. And you can speak, read, and write and understand English. When to apply a student visa? You can apply depend on whether you are applying from inside the UK or outside the UK. If you are applying from inside the UK, then the earliest you can apply for a visa is 6 months before you start your course. You will usually get a decision on your visa within 3 weeks if you are applying from inside the UK. When to apply if you are outside the UK? The earliest you can apply is 3 months before your course starts. You must apply before your current visa expires. Your new course must begin within 28 days of your current visa expiry. You will usually get a decision within 8 weeks. How long you can stay on student visa? You can stay on student visa depend on your course circumstances. So, for example, if you are coming for a degree level, it's different, and below degree level, it's different. If you are 18 or over and your course is at degree level, you can usually stay in the UK for up to 5 years. If it's below degree level, you will usually stay in the UK for up to 2 years. You can extend your visa depend after your degree. When you can travel to the UK, you can arrive before your course starts. This can be either up to 1 week before if your course lasts 6 months or less, up to 1 month before if your course lasts more than 6 months. You must not travel to the UK before the start date given on your visa, no matter when your course starts. What is the visa fees for the study visa? It cost 363 to apply for a student visa from outside the UK, £490 to extend or student visa from inside the UK, £470 per year health surcharge you have to pay. So, for example, if your course is for 2 years, in that case, you will pay for 2 years, which will be £940. You have to pay health surcharge before you arrive UK. What you can do on UK study visa? You can study when you in this on this visa, work as a student union officer. You may be able to work more, depend on your course what you are studying. What you cannot do on UK study visa? You cannot claim public benefits, pensions, work in certain jobs, for example, a professional sportsperson or a sports coach, be self employed, or study at an academic or local authority funded school, which is also known as council schools. What are the requirements for this visa? You must have an unconditional offer of a place on a course with the licensed student sponsor. To prove this, your education provider will send you a reference number, which is known as Confirmation of Acceptance for Studies, CAS letter. Once they have offered you a place on the course, you need a CAS before you apply for your visa. You must apply for your visa within 6 months of receiving your CAS letter. Otherwise, your letter will be expired and you have to again apply for the CAS letter. Now, let's discuss the list of licensed student sponsor. This is the complete list which can provide you the sponsor. Make sure that this list is updated, and when you get the visa, your sponsor name is on this list. I will attach this to the email. So drop me an email and I will send it to you. How much money you need for this visa? You need enough money to pay for your course for one academic year, up to 9 months. The amount you need to pay will be on your confirmation of acceptance for studies, which is also known as CAS letter. How much money you need depend on where you will be studying. You will need either 1334 per month for up to 9 months for courses in London. If you are planning to study outside London, then you need 1023 per month for up to 9 months for the course. How long you have to show this money for? You must have this money for at least 28 consecutive days. The end date of the 28-day period must be within 31 days of the date you apply for your visa. For example, if you submit your application on 1st January 2024, you have to show the fund in your bank account for at least 28 days prior, ending on 1st December. Which countries do not need to show the evidence for enough money to support? This is the list of all the countries which do not need to show any evidence for money to support themselves while they are in UK. However, you might be asked to provide the evidence before you get the decision on your application. What is the English language requirement for this visa? You must prove your knowledge of English when you apply. You can prove your knowledge of English by passing a secure English language test, also known as CELS, from an approved provider, or having a GCSE A level Scottish National Qualification level 4 or 5, Scottish Higher or Advanced Higher in English, gained through study at a UK school that you began when you were under 18. So, for example, if you are over 18 and you have done that course, it won't be counted as the support your application. Who does not need to prove their knowledge of English? You do not need to prove your English knowledge if you are from one of the following countries, or if you have completed equivalent to the UK degree in one of them. So, for example, if you belong to any of these countries, if your nationality is from these countries, then you don't need to prove that you have a certificate of English. What documents you need for this visa? A current passport or a other valid travel document, a confirmation of acceptance for studies, which is also known as CAS letter, proof of you have that enough money to support yourself, pay for your fees, and live in UK when you here. A valid ATAS certificate if your course and nationality requires it. Proof of parental or other legal guardian consent if you are under 18. If you are over 18, then you don't need that. Proof of your relationship to your parents or guardian if you are under 18. Your TB certificate result, written consent for your application from your financial sponsor if you have been sponsored or you got the scholarship for your course fees and other living expenses for the 12 months when you will be in the UK. How to apply for the student visa? You must apply online for student visa. There is no other way to apply for this visa apart from online. You must use the gov.uk website for this. As part of your application, you need to prove your identity. Once you have started your application, you can save your form and complete it later. How long it take to get the decision? You will usually get a decision within 3 weeks. You may be able to pay to get faster decision. You will be told if you can do that when you apply the application. What happens after you get the decision? If your application is successful, you will get either a biometric residence permit, which is also known as BRP card. If you gave your BRP information at the visa center, a digital immigration status which can view you prove online. If you used the UK immigration, then it will be ID checkup app.